Hi, my name's Roamine. Are you hungry? Are you poor? Are you broke? Don't worry, I am too. I'm going to show you how to cook a good meal. All you need is frying pan, source of heat, and some ingredients that will show you what you need.
Welcome to Good Food Cheap. Alrighty then. For today's recipe, we're going to be making grilled romaine hearts. You're going to need romaine hearts, which you can get at grocery stores. That's basically romaine lettuce. You're going to need Parmesan cheese, grated or ungrated. Grated is cheaper, ungrated is slightly more flavorful. You're going to need red wine vinegar. You don't have to have name brand or anything like that. You can get it at the dollar store sometimes, and most grocery stores will carry it. It's relatively cheap. You're also going to need some sort of oil. The recommended is olive oil, but I also recommend butter. Sometimes it's pretty good, and butter is cheap at bread places and some cafes. For this recipe, I'm going to go ahead and freeze my red wine vinegar as prep before we start actually cooking. Here, once again, is everything. This is romaine lettuce. This is olive oil and a piece of butter that you can find for free. Some Parmesan cheese in a bag. And some red wine vinegar. The first step of this recipe is to wash your hands. And then you're going to want to chop the lettuce hearts into. Now you can tear this with your hands if you don't have a knife, to be completely honest with you. It's a little bit messier, but it can be done entirely well. The next step is to mess up opening the bag several times, then finally get it open and spread some Parmesan cheese onto the open side of the lettuce. You want to sprinkle it on real thick, really good. I actually don't put enough Parmesan cheese on mine, but again, it's personal taste as well. You're also, I don't do it here, you're going to want to chop off the top bit of the lettuce where the green leafy bits are, just a little bit extra, just so it can fit in your pan. Maybe your pan's bigger than mine, maybe not. Your stove should be at medium to medium high. Next, you're going to want to add about a tablespoon of oil, whether that be butter or olive oil, to the pan. I'm going to spread this with my fingers. Don't be a dummy, use a paper towel. This is to show you what not to do. Okay, see, boom, look, you got a lot smarter in only like, what, 10 seconds? But that's what I recommend. Spread it nice coating. When it gets good and hot, you should be able to bounce water off of it, and it should sizzle and pop, but not immediately evaporate. Next is to put the lettuce in the pan face down. That's to get all the Parmesan cheese nice and melty. Now, you don't have to use Parmesan cheese. You can use the cheese that you like, but it's kind of like a salad feel, so I went with a nice Parmesan cheese and a red wine vinegar as almost a dressing. Now, you're going to want to try to get that Parmesan nice and crispy, brown, and you can put in one or two. I put in two here. Now, if you cut off the ends of those, they'll be a lot easier to stick into the pan, and they won't fall out as much, and you won't have to press it down as hard. But you may have to do some pressing, and don't be afraid to get in there. The backs of the lettuce should not be getting hot, so you should be fine like I am here. The idea is to basically have the back be nice and crisp like lettuce, and then the front be nice and golden brown. Here we see it from a different angle, and that is my frozen red wine vinegar, which is critical to this recipe, so it's going to take you about 30 minutes worth of prep time to go ahead and freeze your red wine vinegar in a bowl or a plate. Now, you can skip that step, but it does add a little bit of classiness and avant-gardeness, but it's entirely a personal taste. It also makes it a little bit less strong vinegary, because we're going to put it on top. We're going to crumble it up, flake it off with a fork, and put it on top of the lettuce. Here you see me removing it. If I had a spatula, it'd be a little bit easier, but all I had was a fork. I'm going to go ahead and put some more Parmesan cheese on the inside while it's still nice and hot, so it can really melt and really feel it. I'm going to scrape all the red wine vinegar that's been frozen into a puck. Now, I didn't freeze it for as long as I should have. I kind of got a little bit impatient, and I started crumbling it on top of the lettuce. Now, if you don't like vinegar, you can go ahead and skip this step. That's okay, but it really does add a little bit of bite to it that I think really highlights the salady flavor that's going on there. And once you do that, you're pretty much done. You can add anything that you like on top of it. You could add pepper, salt, garlic, bacon bits, anything you really like, but it's a nice, healthy meal that was anywhere from $4 to $8, or if you go ham, anywhere up to $15, but that's up to you, really. This episode was produced by Rowan Christensen, in massive help with Ariana Knight as director of photography and Rayshawn Williams as associate producer and all-around great guy. And lastly, I'd like to thank you, specifically for tuning in. Enjoy, and if no one else will, I believe in you.